Oh, I've been in touch with this. Hello. I know we've been emailing Keely, right? Yeah, is that how you say it? Well, welcome, welcome.
Thank
I
you.
haven't heard from you in a while. For a while, we were going back and forth regularly.
Mhm.
How are you?
I'm doing good. You know, I just learned that our high school is actually going back full time in about a week from now, so I'm very excited about that.
Oh, that's good for your senior year. It's so nice to be able
Yes.
to do that.
Some good progress. So
Yeah, we're hoping that we are going to do that in the fall, but we have to wait and see. I'm not making any promises. Just it's all up in the air, right? So, but we're going to have a student join us, and here she is, Alicia, and Alicia will be able to answer some student questions because I know that you came to my class, you did a bunch of stuff, so Alicia might be able to help. And hi, Alicia. And
Hi.
I'm recording this just so everybody knows, and we're supposed to have hopefully 5 guests. Um, so this is Alicia is one of our. She's going to be a junior, right? Right. Let's go. This is Keely. Keely and I have been chit-chatting back and forth, and I'm welcoming Naomi, but I haven't met Naomi yet, so let's say hi. It's nice to put a face in there, Kaylee. It really is sometimes. Hi, Naomi. I'm Mary Ellen. I direct the art therapy major. It's nice to see your name, meet you. Oops, got dog barking alarm clocks going on. Let me turn that off. Thought I was all set, Zach. Thought I did it all. Let's see. Turn that off. So we have here, let's see, we have a chat going on already. So we have Alicia Panado joined us today. Alicia's one of our going to be juniors in the fall, and she has been enthusiastically helping me with all these little admissions things, and I really appreciate it. So you could ask her questions, and let's see who else is going to join us. Sedona, Mary Ellen. All right, I want to make sure I say this correctly. Your name, and I have a bad last name. So, is it pronounced Jessica, or does it have a different pronunciation?
Yeah, it's pronounced Jessica.
I love the spelling.
Thank you.
I'm Mary Ellen. I'm the director of the undergraduate art therapy major. I have a student, Alicia, here with me today. And we have some other students that are joining us that are also looking at the program or have decided on the program and are just at that final step. So, I always like to do these things, especially, I actually think Zoom is a little bit better sometimes to do. So this way you don't have to drive all the way from where you are. And we can have like a nice informal conversation, but I wanted to just open it up and see if you had any questions, or if you wanted to ask Alicia questions about dorms or food or clubs and different activities and things like that, because Alicia's been involved with the dance. Now you're in the dance club, but you're in the dance team too?
I'm doing a dance minor, and I'm also just in the club. But I have friends that are on the dance team, so that's
Right.
something
And
you're interested
you were
in.
double majoring for a while, but it got a little hairy there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Alicia's, has does a lot of art. She also does the dance, and she is out and about meeting everybody all over campus. So if you have any questions, just you can put them in the chat, or you can say hello to her. Put your camera on if you want, or just talk. I tend to talk when there's no sound, so I'm not going to talk right now. I'm going to let you talk and ask questions, okay? Let me see, where's my little cheat sheet here? Sedona, I haven't met you yet. Where are you from?
I'm from Rhode Island.
You're from Rhode Island? Okay. Anybody else from Rhode Island here? Give me a thumbs up or something. Yeah. Nope. Where's everybody else from? You can write in the chat if you don't want to say.
I'm from Maine.
You're from Maine? Oh, cool, Naomi. Excellent.
Yeah.
I'm from Connecticut, but I'm just from Connecticut. It's Byram was small.
Yeah, I grew up in Connecticut, and I lived in Maryland for about 20 years. So, I just came back to the area about 4 years ago, 5 years ago now. Man, it's gone by fast. Oh,
I lived in Maryland for 3 years.
oh, where did you live?
In Darnestown.
I don't even know where that is.
It's like, what is it? It's like kind of near Allentown, like a little near there. I'm not really
Well,
sure.
near the Pennsylvania area up there. Yeah. Well, I have some questions here if you want, like some of the things that students like to know. And it's sometimes good. Like, Alicia, why don't you tell us, I already introduced you. I didn't give you a chance to do the questions. I already did it wrong. See, they sent us questions for Alicia to talk, and here I am just loudly. So, so I'm going to ask you I'm going to ask Alicia a question, and then if you all have follow-up questions with that, that'll be good, okay? So, Alicia, why did you choose this major, and why specifically Springfield College?
So in high school, I was very interested in both art and psychology. I took a lot of art and psychology classes, and I honestly didn't know art therapy existed until I started doing research for college, and then I found Springfield's art therapy program. And I toured the school, and I just fell in love with it. I met some of my peers who I'm still friends with. We met on accepted Students Day and everything.
Day, right? Accepted
Yeah.
Students Day. We all had lunch together. Yeah, that was really fun.
Yeah, so that really just sold it. The environment, also a plus for me was the fact that Springfield provides all of the art supplies for free. So that was a major plus, because you don't get that at every school. But yeah, there was a few other art therapy. There are a few other art therapy programs I think in the area, but not many. So
yeah, and there's not that many undergraduate majors, right? And so
yeah.
that really helps you decide if you really want to be an art therapist, because sometimes you get into the major and you're like, this isn't what I thought. I think I just want to go this way or that way, or you do the major and you decide, oh, I want to be an architect. I've had students do that. So, okay, Alicia, what is your best experience so far about being an undergraduate at Springfield College?
Honestly, I'm involved in a lot of clubs. So like Mary Ellen was saying, the dance club, I'm in Best of Broadway, which is our musical theater club on campus. And then I've also been involved in the art club and some community service clubs here and there too. So there's a lot to do. I'm very involved, and it's so easy to you don't have to be super involved in every single club either. You can come to one event and then not go to another one for so long. So there's a lot of leeway there. But I'd say my favorite thing about undergraduate is Best of Broadway Club. I'm actually the president of it. So it's where it's my happy place.
Nice.
Yeah, but also for academic wise, I'd say the art classes have been the best for me. It's been kind of hard to get into them. I'm not gonna lie, sometimes you struggle to get into them because the upperclassmen are all getting in first, but the ones that I've gotten into have been really good.
So Alicia, that'll change next year. So
Oh.
the freshmen register last. So if you want to take ceramics and you're dying to take it, you're not going to take it your first year unless there's somebody that drops out. So, that does happen, and that can be frustrating. Okay, so let's see. Do we hold office hours as professors? All your professors should, so.
Yes, I think it's pretty easy to get a hold of your advisor, Mary Ellen. She's pretty easy to get a hold of. And professors in general, most of them at least answer their email if you have questions. I would say don't expect to hear from them on the weekends, because a lot of them, that's their personal time, so they're not going to be on their computers. They're off of work at that time. So, but during the week, I'd say that they answer pretty quickly.
So tell everybody about the advising experience, because you've had some really positive things with me and some frustrations as we try to find classes and all this. So tell a little bit about what that experience is like, because advising is a scary thing for students coming in, because it's all about picking your choices for the next 4 years, so.
Yeah. I would say to make your life and Mary Ellen's life a lot easier, go into your advising meeting with a plan of, all right, I've looked at my, what is it called? The classes I need to take.
Sequencing guide, yeah.
Yeah. And have a plan and then have backups too. Because I've definitely had the experience of, oh, I have it all planned out. These are the classes I'm definitely going to take. And then I get there and they're already booked. So I have to have a backup plan for something else that I need to take that is open at that time.
Yeah, we started doing a plan A and plan B, because
Yeah.
otherwise, I have to have a lot of tissues in my office, because people get very frustrated because you get like your heart set on love poem writing, and it's not offered that semester. So, or you want to take AP Bio 3 because you already did it in high school, but you have to take the others first, or it's only for PT students. So, stuff like that can happen too. All right, so let's see, what's another question here? What does the college offer for academic support services and tutoring and things like that? Because I can tell them, but I think it's better coming from a student.
Personally, I have not used the services. I have not needed to yet, but I know that there is tutoring services through the library. I think on the 3rd floor is where you get it. I don't know if you want to expand on that, Mary Ellen.
Well, we have the Academic Success Center, and it's really great because you don't have to have like some sort of diagnosed learning disability or anything. You just need a coach. Like if you need a coach to figure out the computer modules that we use for organizing our classes, Brightspace or PrideNet even, or you're just having a hard time with the amount of work organizing it because it's just so different from high school, which happens a lot, right? So they have these coaches that can help, like just say, hey, why don't you try it this way? And you just don't even need a regular appointment. You could just pop in after you get a coach and just contact them. And, I've had students that have never really had to organize a lot of material at once, and it just and then you have the clubs and it's so social and you're like, what do I do? So, academic success helps students just sort of, with reading, writing, if you have a problem where you need to have like something taped, especially now that we're online, students are having a problem with attention span or, things like that. They will give you devices to borrow or software to borrow that helps record lessons that you're in, whether you're in person or if we have online classes and Zoom. But, they also will help you with writing. If I say, you write really well, you have great ideas, but you have a hard time organizing everything, why don't you just go over and see one of the academic coaches? They may be able to help you. And if you need regular help with something, then you sign up for tutoring. And they're really great is to figure out what you need, right? And if you have an accommodation of some sort, whether it be emotional or academic, they will help you out. They will help you get all that stuff in place. And we don't even know what it is. We just get a letter saying this is what we need to do for you. So we have all of that in place, okay? It's really a wonderful program, actually. And I always tell students to use it before they leave if they don't need to, because you pay for it, right? So might as well use it for something. But anyway, okay. Any questions about Academic Success Center or anything like that before I ask Alicia the next question? No? Okay. They also have like a little online thing you can sign up for, if you just want to check it out and that kind of stuff. So Alicia hasn't had any of these yet, practicums and internships yet. So this has been a big issue this year because even the graduate students, their practicums are few and far between in their internships because of COVID, right? A lot of mental health facilities closed down, or they are not taking students because they're adjusting to this online format, or they have clients who don't do well in an online kind of thing. Like if you have a developmentally delayed adults, right, who really know a little bit about the computer, but they really don't have that focus and attention span to be on the computer to do art therapy, then that's really hard. And then what do you do with a student who's hanging around in a little corner, So this past year, what we did was we came up with a bunch of alternative assignments that had to do with creating, art videos. We're starting a website, a YouTube page. I have 2 students that are in practicum right now, and they're doing arts-based research project because I asked them to do a paper interviewing art therapists so that they could get to know art therapists. And they said, could we do a documentary and interview them? So now we have this big research project happening, which is going to be kind of cool. That's Buddy and Meg. So, and in this fall, we are really hoping that Alicia's class could do the field work or pre-practicum and be able to get out there. And I have it all set up where we have an online thing already. And then I'm trying to find on-site places. Students go to, and it's all about developing professional behavior and learning about groups of people, development, how like mental health affects people and their functioning. So it's not necessarily that you don't necessarily go with an art therapist in their therapy sessions. Students are always surprised by that. Sometimes you go into a special ed classroom that has an art therapist, or a special ed classroom with a teacher who's really familiar with art therapy, who could talk to you about some of the things that are happening here emotionally or physically or, you know, cognitively. And then sometimes we have a lot of places with the developmentally delayed adults, and they all shut down last year. So I'm hoping that they open up for us again. We have another place that has like after school programming, and I know that they're not going to be taking anybody because they're kind of full. But we have a whole bunch of places like that. We have a grief group that students could go to as far as, you know, hanging out with the therapist there if they have more experience. So we have a lot of different places, but you know, COVID has really impacted them too. You know, nonprofits really, unless they have people coming in, they can't pay their bills, right? So we're working on it. If you have more questions about that and you want to meet a student who has actually been out to practicums and stuff, I can get you involved with maybe one of the grad students who just graduated from our program and actually had some really positive internship experiences, okay? Let's see, what's the next question for Alicia? What's the campus environment like during the week and on the weekend? And I don't know if I need to hear this, but you could go talk it out.
I would say the campus environment's pretty good. Right now it's tricky because of COVID, of course. But we have student activities. It's called CAB. They have like event planning. They put on some pretty good events. There's bingo. I'm sure you guys have heard about it from some people, but if not, bingo is a very exciting event. It happens on Wednesdays, usually like beginning of the month or end of the month, and huge prizes are given out, like Bluetooth speakers, AirPods.
Ooh, they get fancy with it.
Yeah.
I want to play bingo.
Excited for that.
It's pretty big, yeah. And they do the same thing with like trivia nights, and we had like a like Family Feud kind like game show, which was fun. I was not very good at it when I got on stage, but it's still fun, and you sometimes you can win like gift cards. Yes, it's not really, it's like a half stage. It's not very big.
Okay. Wait, that sounds like so much fun though.
It is. It's a lot of fun. On the weekends this semester, they've been bringing in food trucks every Saturday or Friday, which is pretty fun.
I think
Put an ice skating rink in.
Yes, the ice skating rink was new.
The precious grass got taken away. Isn't that funny?
Yeah. At the end of this semester, there's going to be this week-long thing called Stayuka, and it's just a whole bunch of like fun events that happen throughout the week. It's like the week or the week before finals, so like a celebration of like, let's just relax a little bit before we have to crack down and study. And there's like carnival. Usually there's a concert that happens, and I never got to experience that because it got sent home before last semester, so I'm not sure exactly who has come. I think I've heard Bruno Mars was here. That was one of the big names.
Really?
I'm not sure.
I never heard that.
Actually, Bruno came?
So I'm not positive. Don't quote me on it, but I feel like I heard that name spit out before.
Well, I know Shaquille O'Neal's always here because of the Basketball Hall of Fame, but you know, anyway. But you know, the gym is also open on the weekends and at night, and like if you want to swim or do the rock wall or whatever you like to do, and even if you, the gym is kind of, ooh, cat fight. The gym is kind of important because you know, it's a good place to meet people too. You know, not just to meet people, but to like make friends and stuff like that around campus that aren't just in the art department. I would say that's important. Would you, Alicia? Friends across
Yes.
campus. Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
And let's see, what other question? What advice would you give to these accepted students about making their college choices and about choosing Springfield College? Because they're sort of on the cusp of whether they want to go or not.
Um, I would say, ooh, that's a tricky question. I would say in general, some advice that I would give to like any college student is try to not put too much on your plate, because I know I've had this problem and I've talked to so many other people where you get excited about things, so you just kind of put your all into everything, and then you're overwhelmed come like midterms and finals. You're like, oh, I overworked myself. So that's one thing, like just keep in mind classes wise, don't overwhelm yourself. Don't overwhelm yourself with extra activities. Um, Something I'd say about Springfield, I hmm,
Why did you choose Springfield College? Other
I
than the art
chose
therapy.
um honestly the people, like specific, like I think that there's a way for everyone to find their own people through either sports, the arts, like the humanics and like community service groups. Everyone seems to be, or like the planning events, everyone finds something, their own group of people that they are like their forever friends. And it might take, like, don't get discouraged if like your first semester you haven't found those people. For me, it took up until like the end of last year when it clicked and I found my people. So, but I would say that that's what's nice about Springfield is there is a variety of different groups of people um, to look
Like
out for.
sometimes you could have someone who's in the band and they're like the lacrosse star or something like this. So you know,
Yeah.
it's sort of everyone is. It's not. I don't know if it's like high school where it's all separate. I don't know because I'm not on campus with you. So I just teach there. I don't live there. So,
Yeah.
you know, it's different for me as a faculty member. I do know with the president right on campus that she gets very involved with the students and
Oh
she's
yeah.
goes to the food trucks and she's out there hanging out with her dog and she has students walk her dog. You know, I mean, she's right there and her house is right next to the freshman house. So she knows everything that's going on over there. But
I have a
it's
question.
sure.
So I heard that for work study, you can like apply to like walk the dog. Does like I would really be interested in that, but like who like I don't know, like if there's a list, there's probably like a long line to wait for
Yeah,
that.
I think, you know, you have to wait for someone to graduate and someone to drop
Mhm.
off the list. There's a long line to walk in. And, but, you know, that being said, there actually are quite a few animals on campus, which surprised me. There are students who have, you know, assistance dogs and things like that, or companion animals, so, and that they have permission for. So, you know, there are a lot of animals on campus if you're a dog person that you can see everywhere. But, you know, right now I know at least through the end of this year, I know who his dog walker is. And she used to be an art therapy major. So, you know, but now
Maybe
I
there's
don't,
some hope there.
well, you know, at the work study jobs, Alicia, do you have a work study job?
I do not, but my roommate does.
Yeah,
So I
the
know a
work
little bit
study,
about it.
yeah, they're pretty diverse, you know, they're
Mhm.
everything from the mailroom all the way to, you know, working for the dean and helping her around her office. So it's pretty different. We have a couple students that come to the office and work with us and help do some of our like performance events and that kind of thing. What do you know about work study,
I
Alicia?
will say, not to call you out, Keely, but you were talking about how you're a stage manager for your like drama theater. My roommate is actually doing tech right now, so she's getting paid to, and one of the art therapy majors, his name is Caden, he does the same thing. They get paid to work the shows and be like stage manager, do
That
tech.
is so cool. I love
So
doing it. I run all the concerts at my school, like both in the booth and on the floor. I think it's so
Mark
so
cool.
that
will
might
be
be
very excited
something.
about that.
Yeah, I didn't even
Yeah.
know that was an option, so thank you.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
that's another work study. That's a great work study. I know a couple students who've done that.
and
Or
the
they
other
work
one
in
I
the
know
gallery.
about,
Pam works in the gallery as a work study. Yeah.
there's also partners and best buddies, which is working with the local students from like the grade schools, and like best buddies I think is more helping them like study, and partners is like hanging out with them for the afternoon. getting dinner with them at Cheney, which I think people really tend to enjoy, getting to bond with the kids.
It'd be like a mentor kind of thing. It's really
Yeah.
nice that way.
When I toured, somebody was talking to me about that. They were like, we have this thing called best buddies, and they kind of explained it to me, and I was like, that is actually so cool that you guys
Mhm.
do that and partner with like the school that's right there. I think that's super
Yeah.
cool.
You know, I just want to say something about like diversity and stuff. This past year and a half, I guess, the college has really stepped up. Wouldn't you say, Alicia, as
Yes,
far as
definitely.
uh, its work on, stereotyping, inclusiveness, making sure that everybody has equal opportunities. And we're having all kinds of lectures and special events and workshops that we can go to, students, faculty, everybody. We go to the same ones. The president's always at them, and they have these sometimes campus-wide events, and sometimes they're smaller. Like we have guest speakers and stuff that come in and talk about like racism and poverty and its impact and our bias, right? And so the college has a lot to do going on with that, and we have a really diverse and robust multicultural committee and club, and there's a whole division in the college with that. So if anybody wants to, anybody could get involved with it, and can help formulate some of the things that happen around campus, which is kind of cool too. So, what other questions do you all have for Alicia? She's going to be here for a little bit longer. She has a class of 5. Is there anything you don't know that you want to know? Oh, Jessica.
Yeah, I just had a question. So, for like classes in general, like I'm just confused what we'd like find that on the website, like what classes we need to take in order to graduate.
So your first year, you're going to be signed up for most of your classes that first semester. And then we meet around October and we go through what we call like a registration planning or advising period. And then when you come in, you're given a packet. I don't know if you still have yours, Alicia, but it has like your courses that you have to take for your major and your core or general education courses. And, any of those extra things that you have to take to graduate, it has it right there and all the stuff in your packet. I can show you if you want. You could also get this on the website, but we have a sequencing guide that has it. Plus, once you're registered and in there, you could go into the system and open up your audit, it's called, and that has a list of every single class that you have to take for your major, for the core, like if you English, biology, all that kind of stuff, and we look at that together. But you could also look at it through your what they call the PrideNet page, and you can open it up, you could look at it, you could say, hey, this is wrong, I did this many credits. That's where you see if you make sure your credits transferred from high school. If you had like AP classes and you wanted them transferred in and you notice that they're not in your audit, that's a really good thing to do. So for like art therapy, let me just share this screen. So with art therapy, you will be getting this form, right? And you could probably ask advising to send it to you earlier in the admissions office, but yeah, I don't think you really need to do that. I've had students go online and look at the course catalog and they get really disappointed because they saw like just the courses that aren't organized by major, and they got really excited about some courses and then realized that that's not really something you need to take for the major. There's not a lot of room for that. Like I had students who really wanted to go into like all this advanced anatomy and physiology, and I don't know why, because I'm an artist, but they had this background with they really liked science, so that's kind of important. But this is the 2021, so the 21-22, which will be you. Oh boy, I feel old. Will have some slightly different things on here because I just changed our major around a little bit, and I talked to you about that in advising, Alicia. So we have here, you can see that these are all of the core courses up here. And with the core courses, you have to have 3 credits of literary studies, math, science. If science is 4 because there's a lab, something in spiritual ethical. There's a whole list of classes in your audit that we're going to pick from, okay, that you could look at. And if you look here, this is for the art therapy major. You'll see that this is sort of your typical year. It changes for some people. Like I said, if you already have college writing because you took AP English and maybe you took a course if you're from Connecticut at UConn or something, because that happens. You can see if it'll transfer in. Then maybe you could skip a class or two. I don't know. There's intro to drawing, and even if you've taken drawing, you have to take this. And there's some other design courses that you should take, and materials and methods, introduction to art therapy. They all happen your first and second year, and then we go on like the second year and third year. I'm actually making more courses, Alicia, so you guys will have more to pick from, some more 500 level courses. And so there's other courses that you take, but it doesn't look like there's a lot of art therapy courses, because you have a lot of these general education courses you have to take also throughout the time you're there. And like Alicia was saying, she had a double major, and things do get overwhelming, and you think you could do it all. And so deciding a minor is a really great idea in art therapy. But also some students do double major and they're able to do it. Or, dance is particularly hard double major, because all the classes seem to be at the same time as the art therapy classes. And Sarah and I need to work on that. And also we have, you have a lot of rehearsal and practice time. And it's like different than psychology, which is just basically classwork. So I have some students that are doubling there, but that's still hard too, because you have 2 practicums, things like that. So, and then we go into other courses, multicultural courses, special populations. Then we start in the junior year with pre-practicum kind of courses. And you have to have some of your psychology before that, your intro, developmental psychology. We try to have that at least at the same time. And then we have a capstone class at the very end, And then on this page, and you're going to get this, so the updated one, tells you what you need to do for art therapy. Like, these are the art therapy major requirements. So you're going to take each one of these, right? And then one of these, and one of these. I'm teaching printmaking next semester, Alicia. Do you need it? Printmaking for the
Yes,
art
I do need to
therapist?
take I was planning to take it next year, so.
Oh, okay. All right. You can take it with me. So then you have to take art history, as part of our major 2 courses. And then there are some selectives, which are courses that I'm making right now, because we need some more of these. Some of these aren't here anymore, and some of them have just, we've kind of grown out of them, and we need some more robust classes for the major. So that's what's going on here. But you take classes they're like electives, that you could take within the arts. And then you take some advanced studio courses, which actually 470 is going to be on here. And you actually are going to take 2 of those, I think. Your class will. Then, we have like a GPA requirement and all that. So, I see the chat. IB English HL credits. Some AP classes do count. I don't know what IB English is. That is something, when you come to campus, the advising office will meet with you, and they will say, okay, we were able to transfer these 3 things, but we couldn't transfer this because, and they'll give you a reason. Or if you forgot to send in your transcript to them and you did take AP English or AP Math, God bless you, then, I'm not a math person, then you could actually, have your transcript sent from high school to the college. You can't just do it by talking about it. I don't know what IB English HL credits are. What's that?
So IB is the International
Oh,
Baccalaureate. I mess up baccalaureate every time I say it. But yeah, it's like AP, but like it's an international thing. So like people from everywhere kind of can take it. Like there's some students at my school. Well, we can't have, the kids from Italy or anything anymore, but they used to be here before COVID.
Yeah, like an exchange. Yeah. I think it depends on the course and depends on what it is. Yeah, I had a student who took winemaking in Italy and wanted that in there, and I'm like, no, that's not going to work. But there, you have to just check with the advising office, and they're really good about telling you and making sure that if they have the transcript, they will look at it. They spend a lot of time preparing that stuff. And they're usually pretty good at it. But if you get to advising and you meet me and you're like, oh, this isn't on here, I don't know what to do, then we ask Leanne what you need to do. And she says, well, make an appointment. You may not have a transcript for that. So, and we could kind of look at that in the computer once you get into the college. But, you also can check ahead of time if you want and say, typically the baccalaureate classes get in, and they may say, well, it depends on the syllabus. As the syllabus matches our syllabus, like say you take French over in France, right? And it's like introduction to French, and you don't have to take introduction to French here if it's kind of the same course. But if it's just like conversational French, that is different, right? And I know that because I lived in France. So it's a little bit different. It's more about speaking. So it's not necessarily about reading and writing. So it's a little bit different. So that kind of stuff happens, Any other questions for Alicia or for me or for the program?
So off topic of classes, how do you pick a roommate? Because I don't know if it's random. I don't know if you can go in with one or
That's a good question.
I would recommend on Facebook, there's a group chat or a Facebook group. Hold on. Are you guys in like the Springfield College class of 2025? Is that what you guys are?
Yeah, I'm on the Instagram. I didn't realize there was a Facebook and that's what that was for.
Yes, on that Facebook, a lot of people post about themselves and like just like a little bit like, I like this, I'm interested in this. And then usually that's how you reach out to people prior to coming to school, and you can see if you can meet anyone that way. If you don't recommend someone, you will get put with someone randomly. But I would definitely recommend reaching out to other people through that Facebook group chat. I'll see if I can find it.
I didn't know there was a Facebook page. That's pretty cool. We didn't have a
Yeah.
choice, but I went to college, but that was in the dark ages, So that's a really good question.
Yes.
Another question people always ask me is what the food is like. And you all don't have a chance to have lunch with us at Cheney, but I have to say, and I know students complain about Cheney, Alicia, but I think it's actually a really good cafeteria. I mean, they have vegan choices. They have gluten-free choices. They have, the students are healthy at this college. They want those because, a lot of them are athletes. And, they'll have pizza too. So, they have so many different things. And it's not always the thing you want on the day you want it, but they have a lot of different, they have salad bars. My college didn't really have stuff like that. So I'm really impressed with it. And even when I have nieces and nephews that I brought to college and their cafeterias aren't anything like this one. So although I hear UMass has a better one, I haven't checked it out yet myself. Any other questions about campus life or about the
I have a question for Alicia.
Uh-huh.
So the random roommate thing, does that usually work out? Or like, I heard it like doesn't work out most of the time. They're like, oh, I just want like a random roommate, like it's fine, it'll be fine. And then they end up just like absolutely hating them. So like, I don't want that to happen.
I would say there is a good chance that you'll end up liking your roommate if you go random. I think it's hard to tell. Even if you have a connection with your roommate, that if you end up talking to someone from the Facebook or on Instagram, there's still a good chance that the same thing could happen, and it could not work out depending on schedule or just like living wise. Sometimes that gets tricky, but I will say there are ways that you don't have to spend every moment together if you aren't a fan of your roommate. The library is open all the time, and also the union is a great place to go, so you don't have to be in your room all the time if there is that issue. But I would say try to stay hopeful. I know it can be tricky because I remember being in this position and being like, oh no, what if it doesn't work out? But I know a lot of people that went random and loved their roommate, so
you never know. You have to go into it with an open mind, I think. And
yes.
I also think that you need to realize when you come to college, not everyone's going to be your best friend, right? And I was very fortunate when I was in college because my roommate lived nearby and was never there. Then when I was in graduate school, that roommate lived nearby and was never there. So, it's a little different now. You don't have these little cells that you live in. You have like suites and things like that. But I would say be open-minded and just know that you're going to find friends outside of your roommate. And that might be more important. And I also put in here, oh, there's a Facebook page Alicia put in there. Also, Jessica, I put the sequencing guide in the chat if you want to download it. And if anybody like Naomi, if you want to download it, you can. Okay. So that you have a copy of it. Don't obsess over it though, okay? Because yours is going to be a little bit different. Naomi, do you have any questions? Or Jessica, do you have any others? I don't want to just, leave anybody out. I want to make sure everyone's okay.
I don't think I have any specific questions. I'm just happy to hear more about it.
Yay! So I have to say, when we are on campus, I started doing all these things to sort of have the undergrad art therapy students meet the graduate students. And it's sort of completely blown apart since we've been on COVID. But hopefully in the fall, we'll be able to do something at least outside. And it was really nice. And so I do try to get the undergrads to meet the grad students so you can see what the graduate program is like, if you like it or not. And also so you could see that, or you could talk to them about their experience, because graduate school is a lot different than undergrad. And you're basically working as a therapist, by your second year. So you get to meet them. And on the floor on Blake Hall, where our studios are, students do hang out. We have a lounge, and we're not lounging right now, but when we get the lounge back and we have permission to be, around each other, we will have a lounge. But that doesn't mean you can't go places on campus together or sit outside. And I would love to have an outside area for us to sit so we could just get to know each other. I really wish they put a little art break room over by those trees and take those trees down over on the right, because those trees are horrible. I love trees, but these always have like 4,000 birds in them, and it's hard to walk underneath that tree without an umbrella. So, but no, the campus is really great. We have really great art shows that come in. We have really diverse professors. We actually are getting a new graphic design professor and a new music teacher this year. One of our people's retiring. The other one is going out and doing other things. So, we have a really amazing staff in the arts, and also in the School of Arts and Sciences, where art therapy is and the visual arts are, we have poets and writers and people who are, really creative in other ways. And we had a show last year where they actually put some of their work, some of their writing in, and had it on the wall along with our paintings and sculptures and stuff. So, the college really loves the arts. I think sometimes we're a little out of the way because we're way on the other side of campus. But the arts are kind of important to a lot of students. A lot of students take art for the first time at Springfield College. So if you're really into drawing, and you're a great drawer because you've been doing it since you were 5, and you'll be in classes with people who've never even held charcoal. And you'll be surprised how fast they'll catch up to you, because we have such good instructors. I would say we have really, Jessica's amazing, and Harold's good, and George.
I love George.
Love George. So, and we have, we're having a new ceramics person this year, I think, because Holly retired. So we just, have some professional artists. This area, Massachusetts, so full of artists. It's amazing. And so it's very easy for us to reach out and get a printmaker, for example. Who wants to do it this year? There's so many of them in this area, or a sculptor, or someone to teach art history who may teach at UMass, right? So we have a lot of adjuncts that come in that way. So it's really good for the students to see other people. Now, in art therapy, this is the first year I'm having an adjunct teach something, because I've been changing a lot of the courses. I've been teaching a lot of them. So I am really happy to share that, because people get tired of just seeing me all the time. But anyway, so what other questions do you have? I know Alicia's got to go in a few minutes. So campus life stuff.
I'm gonna add my email and phone number in the chat. So if you have any additional questions, you can reach out also. Any last minute questions? I think I'm gonna head out at 45.
Okay.
I have enough time to get there.
Well, then I'll stop talking so people can ask me questions. Anything?
How's the transportation? Are there buses, or can people have bikes, or I don't know, some way to get from class to class?
I've definitely seen a lot of people use scooters or skateboards to go from class to class. As for off-campus transportation, there's a shuttle that takes you to Holyoke Mall and also Fields like Target. So there's definitely ways to get around on the weekends if you need to go like shopping for anything.
Grocery stores, yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, I see a lot of scooters. I don't know if I've seen any bikes. I would say personally for me, it takes me like 5 minutes to walk anywhere on campus, 5 to 10 max. So it's not too bad to walk, but yeah.
Not a huge campus by
No.
comparison to other places where you need a shuttle bus, you know, to get like a half an hour away or a mile away or 2 miles. We do have a place called East Campus, though. I don't know if you know about this, which is like a wildlife refuge that has outdoors classes, and it has a little like beach where you could paddle and do things. And it's not necessarily like an entertainment area. They have classes there, but you could go for hikes over there and that kind of thing. And I believe they have things there. Now, Springfield itself is not known for its really great transportation, public transportation, but there are, Uber is really popular here. I've had to take it myself a few times and have not had any problem. We used to have a zip car, but no one used it, so they took it away. Students do bring their cars after the first year. I think you're allowed to bring your car,
Yes.
unless you have a special circumstance. And then we have a lot of commuting students too. And some students, you know, will be friends with them, and then they'll take them other places and you know, stuff like that. So I would say I always recommend that you have a car at least by the time you get to practicum. But if you can't, then we work it out.
Mhm.
If you have any type of physical problem where you can't walk around campus, we have students who are hired kind of as buddies to help you, or there is a shuttle bus that does go across campus, and there's like a call button that you like a call you can call into security and have them pick you up. So that does happen with like a lift and things. So if that's something that's concerned, like because we have a lot of athletes that get injured and they're always on crutches. There's crutches everywhere. Sometimes 2 days into class, there's crutches. Hope that answers your question.
Yes.
Okay.
I just had another one. This was more for like the tours. So I haven't been able to go to any, and I was trying to look into the ones that are like virtual or like actually managing to get there, but I don't know how, like, because I'm in Connecticut, so I don't know how it'd work for me to go in person.
I think if you let the campus know that you're coming, they could probably find somebody to walk you around. There's students who do that, ambassadors, and or they could give you like a walking map and you can walk around with your family. We have students that come all the time and walk with their families all over campus. They just right now, because of COVID, they like to know you're coming. So if you call the admissions office, Jessica, and say, you know, I'm 45 minutes away, but I'd really like to see campus, or I'm 2 hours away and I don't want to drive all the way up there to get kicked off campus. Can I come? You know? So, and they can make an arrangement for you to do that if you wanted to. They might have those virtual tours. I'm not sure if we have one over in Vapa. I think Martin was working on it, our chair. But that's one thing that I want to do, actually. I want to do like a walk around the campus thing from the art therapist point of view. I just haven't got around to it yet, so.
I'm gonna head out now, but please, if you have any additional questions, don't hesitate to email or text me. If you text me or email, just let me know your name and let me know that you are an upcoming art therapy major. So I'm not like, who is this? But thank you guys.
Thank you,
Great
Alicia,
questions.
so much.
Bye.
Thank you.
Oh, she's like a lucky charm sometimes. You know, Alicia started out wanting to do the double major dance, and she just really decided she needed to put energy into one thing, you know, instead of trying to spread it out all over the place. But she's still involved with the dance, which is really great. Do we have any student athletes in this group? Okay. And I know that Kelly, well, you know what? We have a lot of little tiny athletics that you can be involved in. I have some students who are like, no. And I have some students who are like, well, I kind of like to play volleyball, but I don't want to be on a team, you know? So there are all kinds of things you can get involved with for like team clubs and stuff having to do with sports. But Kelly, you're track and field, right? Or distance, right?
Yeah, I've been in contact with the coach, so cross country and track and field.
Yeah, okay. So, you know, if you are, classes sometimes in the afternoon get a little tricky, but the coaches are really great about academics first, and they're also good at helping you plan so that you'll know ahead of time when things are. because some students, like after 3 o'clock, there usually aren't too many undergraduate classes unless we have like a practicum supervision class or something like that, because it's hard because you're all on the field or in the pool or wherever you are. So, because that's usually when it happens. But anything else that you want to know? Springfield itself is a pretty diverse community. And, you know, I know you get to go to the grocery store, you get to go to all these places. When you get together and meet people, you could go up to Northampton, which is kind of the artsy town, and look around there. And East Hampton is also kind of artsy. And we're not that far from Massamoka. We're about 90 minutes, which is way up in the corner near Vermont and New York State. And
I love
occasion-
Massachusetts.
it's wonderful. And it's starting.
Just such a vibe all the time.
I went once for the first time like early last year and it was amazing.
I have to
Yeah.
say, if it were
One of my
closer, I'd live next door. So, but we before COVID, and hopefully we'll get back to this by the spring of next year. We usually go on a field trip. Sometimes we go to New York City. Sometimes we go to Massamoka. So, and sometimes we go to Boston. And that's just, and it's just, we're going to see what happens with that. We don't want to plan anything too early, you know. But you know, there's museums in Springfield. You know, there's a basketball Hall of Fame. There's a lot of things. It's the home of Dr. Seuss, which right now is very controversial. So you'll see Dr. Seuss positive sides and Dr. Seuss negative sides. You'll see Dr. Seuss, and once you drive around Springfield, you understand how he got his books, because it's kind of hurting it all over the place. So there's a large from Vietnam, Dominican Republic. There's some great restaurants here. Students get together and sometimes go out, and just, you know, places like Max's Tavern, which is the usual spots too. So anything else I can tell you about?
I heard that there was a New York trip. Like, does that happen anymore because of COVID? Like,
Well, right now it's not, but we do go either to New York or Mocha or Boston. And I don't know if the rest of the college does it, but the Visual and Performing Arts usually does something. And it's an all-day thing, and then you have to be back on the bus at a certain time, and you know, but it sometimes is really, like, they went out to Brooklyn to see the Frida Kahlo exhibit, you know, and that was really nice for everybody. But it's we have to see what happens with COVID. We don't know if we're going to be able to go on those trips right now. We may not be able to go on it for another year. It depends on what happens, right? So, what else do you want to know?
You keep talking about double major. What is like some common double majors? Because I know Alicia was a dance, but I haven't really heard anything else.
Psychology. Psychology is a big double major with art therapy. I have a student doing rehabilitation studies because she wants to be a drug and alcohol counselor and an art therapist, so she's doing that. I had a student who was actually a nutrition double major with art therapy. I really don't know why. I had a few students who wanted to do the dance because they want to be dance therapists, dance and movement therapists. And I have a few students, only have a music minor who are music minors because they want to be a music therapist. And they're taking my classes so that they can understand what it's like to be in the expressive arts and therapy. So that happens a lot. But psychology is the biggest one. And minoring in psychology is always a good thing. You can't decide that your first semester, okay? You can't really decide that until after advising in your first semester, like after the midterm, because you're just getting used to everybody and what we do, right? And it's not too late to do it in the spring of your first year of college, to add a minor or another major if you wanted to. We also have a really great honors program, which is only a few years old, but students take extra classes for that. One of my students, Julia, she was a double major with psychology and did the honors program, and finally she's like, it's just, you know, a lot. So the honors program does a lot of like extracurricular type of classes and a lot of different types of learning. And usually you have to have a certain grade point average and, you know, that kind of thing. It's like bonus classes on top of everything else. So that's always good too. But pace yourself. And I hope you all decide to come because, you know, we get pretty close and chummy, and, you know, I've been an art therapist since 1992, so I love art therapy, and I went to art school before that. So I'm kind of really come from the art side of things, and I also know a lot of people who came from the psychology part of it, and then just took some art courses. So everybody who loves art and is willing to take it and learn about the different materials can be an art therapist, right? When you get to your master's level. So I really, if you have any more questions for me, just let me know. And here, I'll put my email in there too. And you can also go to the website, get in touch with me if you want to. But I also, on the website, they put a little lesson in. I don't know if you saw it. I did one of my lessons, and they wanted to tape a whole class, but it didn't work out. So I taped my lesson for outdoor art. We were doing like natural mandalas and found object stuff. So that is on the website for the open house, I think. And I saw it. I was like, oh my God, I'm live publicly. So, but I've been doing a lot of that kind of stuff since we've been online recording. So we have half synchronous, half, which means we're together, and then the other half you're working on a project, because usually you'd be working at a desk in the studio, and we don't have that. So it's kind of trying to figure out how to involve the studio aspect into the art therapy. So any other questions, just let me know. Whatever you want to do, whatever you have anything you want to know about, I could try to find out if I don't know the answer. Anything else? I'll tell you, one of the things I'm changing in the major is we're cutting practicum down a little bit, because we had like up to 600 hours of practicum. It was a lot. And it was 6 credits. And I decided that it was just a little too much for the number of students we have and the amount of practicums we have in the area, and that you really are not necessarily getting clinical kudos for this towards graduate school, and all those credits could be used to take another art course or something else, like maybe research statistics in psychology if you were into that, so which helps in grad school. So it kind of allows you to have another course. And we also invested in this new course for the senior show. It's all about the senior show, because everybody has a senior show when they're graduating, whether it's in the winter or in the spring, like your group. Okay. I hope we convinced you. Alicia's great to talk to. If you have questions for her, really do reach out to her, because she's really embraced Springfield College. Like, she was so quiet and shy. Now she's like out there, doing all this stuff. So, okay. Any other questions for me? No? You asked some good questions. You really do. So before we go, let me just tell you that in art therapy, we like to kind of expand our minds a little bit. We do a lot of different things, and it's sometimes not what you think, right? We try really hard to make sure there's a boundary so that it's not therapy. Some students always ask me that. Will people know what I'm thinking? Like, no. So we really try to work on that, because it's a pre-professional skill, right, that you could use when you go to grad school. So we work on that, and sometimes the classes are really small, and sometimes they're a little bit bigger. I've had up to 27 students, but usually it's more like 18 to 20 in a class. But the more you advance you get into the major, the smaller the classes are. So that might help you make a decision. I don't know. And we do buy all your art supplies, which it's been really tough during a pandemic, because they stopped making colored pencils for a while. So, but we're doing the best we can. But you also could use your own art supplies. You could definitely bring your own stuff to campus. Like, we have one student, Buddy, who loves, making books and stuff. And she brought all of her own stuff to campus, and all of her like special markers and things. So definitely bring something that you like doing, if you want to come to campus and stay here. Okay. All right. And Kelly can tell you she came to one of my classes. So if you want to come to a class, just let me know and I'll pick out a date. They're usually, right now I have one undergraduate class and it's a 9:24 Tuesday and Thursday in the morning. So if you want to come to that, just let me know and I'll tell you what a good lesson is and you can come. And you even went into a great breakout group, I think, right? Yeah, that was fun. Okay. If you don't have anything else, you could go. You don't have to stay and hang out with me the whole time. But if you have other questions, I'm here for you. Good. Sedona, you good?
I'm good.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I really like that you guys supply, the art supplies, because right now at my school, it's really hard to find like the specific things that like I need, because I like doing mixed media. So mixed media. Anyways, so I'm like trying to find like clay and like I don't know.
Well, a
And
lot of that is because the factories slow down their making of it because
yeah.
some of them come from overseas and the borders closed and there was a lot of stuff going on last in 2020 that kept art supplies. I can't find Model Magic because they stopped making it at Crayola for a while. So, we do our best and we give you at least the basics for the class. In art therapy, I buy specific things. Like there's a mask in every packet because we have a lesson about a mask. So and then some of the other things you could use at will. Everyone gets a sketchbook their first year and the second year. But if I need special paper for an assignment that we're doing, I will give you the special paper. So it's not like a store, like an unlimited supply. They're for the class, but you can use them from year to year. Once you get them, they're yours kind of. And in the classroom, what we do is I have them in a cabinet. We use like communal supplies and do that. Right now, everyone's getting their own to take home, which is kind of expensive. But before it's for the class, and people can borrow them and take them to their room. Like if you never used watercolor crayons and you saw some in my closet, and you're like, I need these. They're expensive. They're like $35 for 6, but you could borrow them and bring them back, and try them out. And we're not that far from Jerry's Artorama of Connecticut, and it's in Hartford, West Hartford, and it's an amazing art store, which you don't want to go in if you have any cash on you, because when you're standing in line, you'll just grab a big giant oil pastel as a seigneur, and you're like saying, so it's a nice store, but it's a little expensive. We order a lot of our stuff through Dick Blick or Jerry's, and getting things has been very hard this year, Sedona. It really has been. So it may not be your teacher's fault. It may be just the company.
Last year when because I take AP art, my teacher was really trying to get the supplies to us, and it was just really difficult. Like we were just finding things in our house and like in our basement, and like they were like, do you have cardboard? Like
that's what we've been doing.
Cardboard. And I was like, I'm running out of canvases, and he's like, cardboard. So I was like in my basement finding boxes, and I was like, you know what, it's art. AP's not going to mind. Like I'm sure a lot of people are doing this right now.
Yeah.
Everybody did
just
it.
Cutting up Amazon boxes and
Me
flattening
too.
things out.
Yes, I was like, another Amazon box.
Yes, I know. I was like, can you order something just so I can have a box for it?
So Amazon boxes were pretty big. What to do with cardboard? Actually, if you look, and maybe I'll take some pictures and put it on our website. But the sculpture class did all cardboard sculptures. They took a small object and made it big, and so there's like cardboard sneakers, and but it's cardboard. It was really hard to get stuff, and because everybody has a different approach to art and different things, that's why the found object Nadella, or the nature thing, was something that I did, because this was the first semester we went away, and I had students who were like, I live in an apartment in Manhattan and I don't have a park near me. What do I do with this assignment? And I'm like, he was really creative. He used shampoo bottles and his mom's nail polish bottles, and he made this amazing like found object art that he took pictures of. I've been using a lot of photography with students so that the photos are actually taken in an artful manner, so that it puts more meaning onto that cardboard sculpture that you're making or whatever. But in art therapy itself, the field, oftentimes art therapists are using found objects because they don't have huge budgets. It's not like a visual artist who has like, you know, $1,000. We sometimes just get a $300 a year. So we find things like toilet paper tubes and use them. So it's a good thing you had that experience because you'll probably do it again in my class. Okay. Anything else? Naomi, Jessica, you good?
I'm good.
Yeah?
Yeah, same.
Yeah?
Thank you.
You're welcome. And, you know, if anything that you need, just, you know, email me and ask me a question, or if you want to talk to another student, you know, who may have had like a different experiences like with academic success or anything like that, just let me know and I can see if I can find someone to volunteer and talk to you, okay? Set you up with email that way. Okay. We also, I don't know, whatever you need, let me know. See what I can do.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I
thank
love doing these.
Thank you.
Normally we'd be with your families having lunch, but can't do that right now. Maybe we could do that in the fall. Maybe we could have a picnic or something. Okay. All righty. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye.